Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Like the video as you guys come in. Yeah, I'm coming in late today. Busy day. Still got stuff to do. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Numbers are going up. Appreciate everyone for subscribing. Hit the like button as you guys come in. Let me go ahead and do my disclaimer to get started. All comments are alleged, period. All comments are alleged, period. Please hit the like button, period. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Okay, so you guys, we're going to go ahead and get straight into the news and what's being talked about, and then we're going to get into some videos.
Green side, I think.
Those windows they're all sealed. You can't open them. You can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a big video.
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's... In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be... Where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on 15th Street side, I think. So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows they're all sealed. You can't open them. You can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So he's saying those windows are sealed. So there's a lot that's being talked about. We're going to get into it all. Everything. Like the videos you guys come in. I normally like to push this up a little bit more. Like the videos you guys come in. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
We're getting in on the hoax.
The president has been very vocal with press all the time. I think in August, he spent 26 days doing public events or talking to press. So to go down for 6 days and just have a slew of true social posts that are very chaotic and people can't follow all of them, it's very concerning. There could be actually something wrong. The problem is we don't know and they're not being transparent.
That woman worked for Biden. She was the one who dressed up as the Easter Bunny and yanked him away from reporters. That woman. These people thought Trump was dead and Biden was alive. And it's not like Trump wasn't seen. He was seen going to golf every day. Biden went days without being seen. They never asked if he was alive. And we speculated a lot about Biden's health, a lot. But we never thought Joe Biden was dead. And we never wished he croaked in the Oval. But Tampon was downright giddy thinking about it.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things. And although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
Timmy's scrolling through his phone, hoping to see news the president's dead. We wished Biden was alive, and they wished Trump was dead. People were texting reporters asking if the president had passed away.
What name did he just call that man? Like the video coming in. Like the video.
A whole lot of people on the internet convinced themselves that the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was in fact dead. It was everywhere. People I am friends with but aren't into politics were texting me asking if Trump had died.
Didn't you hear it too? I know I heard what he called him, and he must have meant to call him something else. Like the video, like the video.
Just to be clear, let's get the good stuff in here. No, Donald Trump is not dead.
How did that rumor spread with Trump, but not with Biden? Democrats were convinced. Over the weekend, there was a video going around of someone throwing stuff out of the White House window, and they said, see, Contractors can't work at the White House while the president's there. He must be 6 feet under. Trump hadn't even heard about it. Our very own stupid bitch, Peter Doocy, had to show it to him on the phone.
He said his very own son of a gun. He is something else. Like the video. He got me tickled.
Trump called the video AI.
So that's a big video.
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof.
The White House says the video's real, so that must not be Trump. Has to be a body double. Well, someone was doing interviews over the weekend and posting all night. Quote, 3 days ago, while admiring the stonework, I happened to notice a huge gash in the limestone. It was deep and nasty. Lo and behold, because of the fact that we've installed the finest security equipment anywhere, they brought back the stupid people with their boss watching in sunglasses. It was a subcontractor that was installing heavy landscaping on a steel cart that was broken and tilting badly, with it rubbing hard against the soft, beautiful stone. Something like this should never happen. So Trump fired the contractor and banned them from the White House. So Trump did an interview, golfed, and fired people over Labor Day. He's very much alive. Joe Biden, barely there. Let me give you an example. Trump's replacing Biden's presidential portrait at the White House with a portrait of the auto pen. That pen worked harder than Biden ever did, so it should be honored. Meanwhile, Trump doesn't stop. White House sources says he seems to wake up and say, what else needs to be improved? Every day it's something new. He's very focused on America's 250th birthday and cares a lot about making the city's fountains operational again. He cares a lot about the fountains, quote unquote. Trump's not dead. He's bringing America back to life. And water is life. Even Fetterman says the president has good taste.
The plans are going to be done in a tasteful and historical kind of a way. I mean, they're not putting in a Dave and Buster's kind of a situation here. So I think upgrading some of these facilities seems pretty normal.
The only renovation Biden did was to the White House Situation Room. And when they found the cocaine, they blamed one of the workers.
But they never
fired the workers, did they? Trump worked so hard they thought he was dead when he took a long weekend off.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm glad he did, because the fall is going to be a frenzy. On October 1st, government shutdown deadline. Putin-Zelensky summit, maybe. The battle over the Federal Reserve, RFK Jr. hearings, the National Guard, probably going to Chicago. Maybe a war with the cartels. More on that later. Maxine Waters, no relation, wants to stage a coup because the president isn't sleepy.
It is time to call for Article 25 of the Constitution of the United States of America to determine his unfitness, to determine that something's wrong with this president.
Unfitness? I'm sorry. I'm cracking up this morning. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip.
Trump is bringing so much change to Washington, they think something's wrong with them. Presidents usually just preside, they don't govern. And do Democrats have a plan to take on a man of action?
You know, you had a lot of online influencers who were jumping on this, grifting basically, trying to make a quick buck. You had other people pushing these ideas for political reasons, promoting the idea that Trump was weak or frail and may not be with us for very much longer. It seems to me that there are some liberals who've just given up on challenging Trump and are waiting for him to die.
So the left strategy boils down to this. They hope Trump dies. They did try to kill him or have him die in prison.
But we don't. This is Fox News, not me. This is their commentary. I'm just listening and reacting. This is something else. Like the video, like the video.
Now they're just hoping for natural causes. Meanwhile, Trump's spending every second of the day thinking, how can I make sure? How can I make the nation richer? How can I make D.C. more beautiful? And the Democrats are like, did he die yet? They're really not part of making America great again. They could be. They could build big, beautiful things, make college cheaper, force too late Jerome to cut rates. They're just angry. And anger is okay, but you have to channel anger towards something fruitful. So far, all we've seen is nuts.
Then all of them, every genocide enabler, look at this room's mother. We ain't going anywhere.
We're also hearing a lot of funky accents.
Baby, because these people, they are crazy, because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things. Yeah, you ain't got to believe me. Just go Google.
First off, it is entertaining. For the morning I've had, this is hilarious for me. You ain't got to be here. You here watching and commenting. So you must want to say something. You want to be notified. Now you can't say nothing. Goodbye. I'm entertained, and it's my channel. What your channel doing?
Well, you'll find some of it. I'm telling you, and the wives is being messy and petty. They putting it in the divorce. I'm like, ooh, that's got to be true.
Greasy Gavin's out there jocking Trump style. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But why doesn't Gavin imitate his policies? What Democrats really want is a dictator. Their dictator.
I would like a progressive Trump.
Oh,
I would like somebody who uses the executive pen to say, you know what, we're going to make D.C. a state.
yeah,
We're going to make Puerto Rico a state.
Yeah.
We're going to abolish the Electoral
yeah,
College.
yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
enshrine protections for women in the Constitution.
Yeah.
We're going to roll back because the very
We're going to add more judges on the Supreme Court.
exactly.
So Democrats don't care about small d democracy. They want a big D dictator. The next election is going to be about who's the bigger dictator. Right now, they're just mad that ours is alive. But in 28, they're going to put up someone who promises they'll add DC and Puerto Rico, pack the court, kill the Electoral College, and arrest Trump again. Republicans better say how they're going to use their power to better serve the people and go even further than Trump has. Because the auto pen is not mightier than the sword. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News.
Richard, I think yours is the best. Richard's is the best. I haven't seen that one.
So the Wall Street Journal is calling Democratic
Like the video, like the video. Yeah, Richard, I think yours is the funniest. Like the video as y'all come in. Oh my goodness. Yeah, today gonna be a funny day. It's a busy day for me, and when I'm busy, sometimes I have more fun laughing. Like the video as y'all come in. That person must not have a sense of humor. You're gonna have to go somewhere boring. Let's continue.
I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans. And these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time. And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular, so congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. Yeah, this is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
And she loves you, Mr.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been to produce you indirectly. I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach, and I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama this weekend.
Leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and a fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. You're doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Morall, great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away number one in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're.
Wait a minute. Roger, you called him what? Like the video, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all are hilarious this morning.
Politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was
What's
right.
wrong with y'all this morning?
For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you. Thank you.
Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we're grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our warfighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. You've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your book's solid, but behind on billing?
Like the video, like the video.
Only Quicken has you covered. Manage business and personal finance.
Like the video, but like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up, and as Secretary Hegseth said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the President for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure the Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Mr. President, I want to say thank you
Thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities of defense and the warfighter. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as Chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the President held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the President named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs. That's Huntsville, Alabama.
So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject. I promise. They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Senator Cumberland talked about the cost savings associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard. There's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
Completely different, but a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do him for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying, like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors, you can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, you know, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. You know, I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry. That's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, and you know. But I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have. There's something going on. And it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
If there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President.
There's about 367 in the building. Can I get all 367 people to hit the subscribe button? We're trying to hit 50K by next month. All 365, please hit the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip. Continue to hit the like button as well.
And what could those consequences be?
We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week they lost 7,000 between the two countries. 7,000.
As Platinum preferred installers of Owens Corning Roofing Products,
like the video,
is to provide your
fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
313 soldiers to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but you know, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yep.
You decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with it. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad. Really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it's like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I said, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem. And we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful. And the police commission has been very helpful. And it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem. And we'd love you to send in the troops. Because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send it. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care of it. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, something, you know, having a certain ability. Not a person that's woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police, as you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love to of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place, and you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime. Do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done. There's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. It If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing the great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. We have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat, but when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets, I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this, I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below.
I want to show you the difference between a 401k
Like the video,
and
like the
an index
video.
life policy. So,
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There's about 233 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We are trying to hit 50K by next month. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing. The best economy. We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling. And that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries. I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs, and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
A big video.
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's... In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be... Where was the window? Let me see. Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think. So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them. It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court. Well, it certainly is. It certainly is.
In fact, it was a little ideological line 7 before.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama voted in favor of the tariffs because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even. And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
My question is, I imagine, I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, we already have, yeah. In fact, we're doing something else. We're going to be going to the Supreme Court, we think, tomorrow, because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial fabric of our country, we're a rich, incredible country right now, and we're able to, other countries use tariffs on us for years, and we never did. And I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID, and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed agreements, as an example. They said they're all happy, everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge, and now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that. Because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes. I'd love to do that. Oh, if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need a certain number in the House. I think we'd get. I don't know. We have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much money, and here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion. And they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay. With Ursula? Oh, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her? NATO is concerned. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Mr. President, reducing the tariffs on India from 50%.
What does that mean?
Are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India?
No, we get along with India very well. But India has, you have to understand, for many years, it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we, therefore, weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant. And now they don't have to pay tariffs. Same thing as us. So what we're doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S. Car companies, AI, but more traditionally car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them are coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build, number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. You know, when you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President, in light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country and incidents of threats?
So religious liberty is so important, and we're talking about every religion now, and we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done, and we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. It'll get somebody else. I mean, the problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There's about 150 people in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. As you come in, as you comment, please hit the like button. Double tap the screen to hit the like. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's get the likes up. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple. It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and Scoop Jackson and some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. They cheat like, they're not stupid. That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good in management. They're no good at government. But they're great at cheating. And they stick together, too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Obviously, this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We all agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea of the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
This is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country the best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center, and so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spin off. Look at this. This is teamwork right here. So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
I've got a couple of questions.
Yeah, please.
Owning a home, going about the American dream, seems like it's out of touch with a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing the emergency housing situation.
That's right. We're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just...
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. It's too late. It's way too late. And the economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through. But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. It's too late. And probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right? Because he was hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in or that Kamala would. He was a big Biden guy. Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person. But he was hoping, I guess, she'd win, I guess. I don't know. It didn't work out too well. But yeah, we need a very serious cut. I think that if you look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big, and I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade. And numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations, asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden-era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews. But I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here. You know, for 150 years, they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level, using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in D.C. And D.C. is like a different place. And, you know, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington again. Go ahead, please.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you concerned at all about those countries?
No.
Some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know. But China needs us much more than we need them. No, I don't see that at all, no. And I had actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
Today, California ruled that your deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal. Do you have any response?
Well, it was a radical left judge. But very importantly, what did you not tell me in that question or statement that you made? Pretty much of a statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said, but you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He seems like his normal self to me. Quick wit, putting people in their place. Like the video. He don't seem like he having no problems to me. Like the videos, you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, you guys. Please hit the subscribe button and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the videos, you guys come in. Let's continue.
Guys, with intense summer heat, there are.
Like the videos, you guys come in.
There's a non-life-threatening medical explanation for that. Trump has been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, which is a common condition that can cause, pretty intense swelling of the ankles like you see there. Still, the rumors managed to get enough traction that Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz to acknowledge them at a Labor Day event yesterday.
Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for believing in these times, because look, I get it. You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
I mean, not just, people that are not big fans of the president, but even Trump's allies have been speculating about his poor health.
So as the crisis gets worse, and it's going to get worse, you can see him declining faster and faster. I predict Trump is going to have some type of collapse within the next 12 months at the current trajectory. I'm not saying he's going to collapse.
That's his report, not mine. Like the videos, you guys come in. Fair use. Their opinions, not mine. Let's continue.
I'm saying if he doesn't take his foot off the gas pedal, I guarantee you.
Now, Alex Jones is not a medical doctor, not someone that you should really listen to about these matters. And in the end, all the rumor mongering and speculation appears, at least for now, to be totally baseless. As we saw today, the President of the United States is very much alive and seemingly as well as ever, for what that's worth. Although he was asked about the rumors in the Oval Office today, which was a strange moment, and we'll have his answer next.
Like the video.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see you for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Well, I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him.
There you have it. The President of the United States is alive and, well, his typical self. But while the online speculation over the long weekend turned out to be just that, the growing curiosity about Trump's well-being might be at least a bit understandable, considering that this White House has not given us any reason to trust what it says on just about anything, especially when it comes to the health of a man who is the oldest to ever take the oath of office. Jamel Bowie is an opinion columnist for the New York Times. Tim Miller is a former spokesman for the RNC, now writer-at-large for The Bulwark, and they join me now. Tim, I found that I mostly did stay off social media this weekend, but when the times where I sort of managed to dip in, I was like, wait, what's going on? Did I miss something? Did actually something happen? And why do you think there is this sort of phenomenon that has been gathering force recently?
Yeah, I thought about wearing my white lab coat for this segment, Chris, but I decided not to. I think that this phenomenon is based around a few things. One, Donald Trump is extremely, extremely old. And so people have speculation about him. I think that number two, as you alluded to, they lie about everything. And I think that his last medical report said he weighed, he had the physique of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, I'm pretty sure, as far as height and weight is concerned. And so they lie about his health. And so when you have things like weird bruises on your hands and huge cankles, and you're not in public for 48 hours, in a different administration, in the Jimmy Carter or George H.W. Bush administration, they would have, and people would have believed them, right? And they don't. This administration, you can't do that. That's another reason things get out of hand. And look, the only thing I have one maybe agreement with Alex Jones, maybe a disagreement with some viewers on this point. But the one other thing that drives this is Trump does have an insane schedule. I mean, he has a very, very public schedule. It's not like he's a coal miner or whatever. It's not a physical job, but he's a 79-year-old man who's out talking like 5 hours a day in front of cameras and traveling internationally. If you've ever traveled with a senior citizen internationally, do you think when they land they're going to do a 2-hour press conference? So he keeps a very intense schedule, and then he went away for 3 days, and I think he was probably worn out, and I think that led to the speculation.
Jamel, I saw a few people make this point, which really stuck with me.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There's about 145 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
This point, which really stuck with me, about people who had been in societies that were not democracies, where there's some authoritarian leader, and how common it is when the leader disappears for a little period of time for this speculation about like the health or the death of said leader, that this is like a real trope in closed societies, authoritarian societies, and that chilled me a little bit, and also felt like it had a little kernel of truth to it.
Yeah, it does, I think, have a small kernel of truth to it, that we are already, I think, collectively getting cultured to looking at the president in this manner as some sort of like leader who has to be present all the time, or people start getting concerned, worried, I think in this case a little excited that something may have happened. I think it's a funny reflection of how central the presidency has become to American political culture, that there is this kind of constant obsession about where the president may be, if they're in the public eye, if they're doing something. And I find that, separate and apart from Trump, I find the centrality of the president to everything we think about American politics to be not good, to be actually kind of one of the things that has fed into how we've got to where we are today.
I totally 100% agree with that. And I do think also, Tim, part of what's driving it as well is, I think there's a sense a lot of people had that there was a lot of speculation about Biden's health. There was a lot of talking about Biden's health. There's been even a long sort of sort of mea culpa, sort of self-recrimination in some of the press that there wasn't enough talk about Biden's health. And I think some people are like, well, this guy is like super old and does clearly have some physical issues in front of him, and also does seem to like blank out sometimes, or like his brain seems mushy, although is it any mushier than it was before? I don't know. And a little bit of like frustration that it's not like even Steven, I guess.
Yeah. I think that there's probably some of that. It's also on people's mind, right? I mean, like the gerontocracy side of this thing.
Yes.
And look, you also, Mitch McConnell, froze a couple of times recently. We've had this in several other cases. So I think that is something that leads to it. But I could not agree more with Jamel, just by the way, just both on this notion that like this does carry echoes of what you see in other countries. I was talking to one of my colleagues today. I was talking about how I was reminiscent of how Castro was dying for 20 years, and that finally happened. It was too late. I do think there's a little bit of something to that for sure, and that it reflects poorly on how the centrality of the presidency in our lives right now.
Yeah, there was a line about that someone had posted this, and it really stuck with me, Jamel, that in 1997, in 2007, in 2017, and possibly in 2027, the president was born in the same year in all of those years. Like, we've gone now from like Bill Clinton through like that. It's just the same generation still there as time marches forward.
I mean, there's an interesting observation to make here just about the durability of whatever the Trump coalition is. Precisely like looking at his age, looking at the fact that the president, this is the oldest person to take the oath of office, president who's pushing 80, who seems exhausted, and whose victory last year was not nearly as substantial as I think people remember it being. It was sort of the best possible headwinds for Trump, and he barely assembled a winning coalition. And there's one way to look at all of this and to see it not as a triumphant president on the march, but a quite exhausted one, both literally and politically, attempting to burrow itself into power as much as it possibly can in the short amount of time that it has.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is that people have a sense or hope that he's sui generis and the forces he's unleashed can't be sort of passed around to someone else. And I think that, I don't know if that's going to prove true or not, but I think people do have that hope. Jamel Bowie, Tim Miller, thank you both.
Like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, please. There's about 135 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. And continue to hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use.
Inside of the Oval Office. For more on this and what it potentially could, let's shift gears here a little bit on live now from Fox and talk about another initiative that the Trump administration is pushing forward with. They're considering a potential national housing emergency as soon as this fall. That a report from the Washington Examiner, Christian Daytalk, and also President Trump confirming that today at that press conference inside of the Oval Office. For more on this and what it potentially could look like, let's take you out to Mike Emanuel with this report.
Our housing industry is good, but it could be phenomenal.
President Trump is putting the spotlight on housing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the president is considering a national housing emergency declaration in the fall to address high costs and low availability. There aren't many specifics available, but the White House is reportedly looking at standardizing local building and zoning codes and decreasing closing costs.
We're looking at what the president has available to him. This president understands real estate. He understands housing better than anybody. We will fix this housing market.
It comes as the president ramps up his war of words with Fed Chair Jerome Powell, claiming his reluctance to cut interest rates is making housing unaffordable.
We have this affordability crisis, and there are two ways to fix it.
Like the video. Do you know anybody that's trying to purchase a house, get out from underneath the house, or they're wanting to buy, but what they want to buy, the housing prices have definitely changed in certain areas? Do you know someone that's looking for a house, trying to get rid of a house and having a hard time, or trying to rent a house and people just aren't trying to rent their home?
We're bending the curve on inflation, and then we can bring down
prices.
But some conservatives are opposing the emergency declaration, arguing the market needs to correct itself.
We want to encourage home ownership, but you got to have the housing out there. The housing stock is not growing fast enough. That's the bottom line here.
And Democrats who have made housing affordability a major issue say President Trump is just playing politics, hoping to appeal to more moderate voters ahead of the midterm elections.
Affordability is something that has to be applied across the board.
The president is also reportedly considering dropping tariffs on construction materials to bring down new home prices. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
All right, thank you so much for that report. And of course, this coming in from Christian Dayton as Trump speaking in the Oval Office, confirming what Benson, the Treasury Secretary, told him yesterday, considering declaring this national emergency, saying we're, quote, thinking about doing that. Let's be joined right now by that Washington Examiner White House correspondent, Christian Dayton. Thank you so much for joining us. You sat down with the Treasury Secretary at a diner in Virginia, and this potentially caught you by surprise. What would a national housing emergency look like? What are they proposing doing?
Well, this would be a first, Andy, and when I say I was surprised to hear those words come out of Scott Bessent's mouth, I really can't underscore. My jaw was on the ground. This is something we've heard about primarily from Democrats over the last 5 years in the post-COVID era, but there have been a growing number of Republicans who want the federal government to step in here. And I noted in that package, Steve Moore is up there. Traditionally, you'd think that conservatives like President Trump wouldn't actually want the market to work out some of these kinks. But what we've seen through 7 months in office is that he is not necessarily adhering to conservative economic policy anymore. I mean, he's nationalizing parts of some of these big tech companies. Of course, the tariffs run directly in the face of free market economics. And on housing, he is, it does appear, be trying to take a page out of the Democrats' playbook. Now, is this about politics heading into the 2026 election, or is this, a real honorific attempt at lowering costs for Americans, regardless of their party, in every swath of life? I don't really think we know yet, just because we don't specifically have these details. But when I spoke to Scott Bessent, all of the items that he was outlining, both on the supply and the demand side, not to mention the exorbitant cost of closing on a home, it does sound like they are serious about this, and they are trying to pull ideas from all walks of, the ideological spectrum as they are trying to tackle this massive crisis for American consumers.
Yeah, obviously buying a house, obviously so much out of reach for so many Americans. You mentioned the Affordability Act. I also want to ask you, because you heard there talking about it happening potentially even as soon as this fall, and we are in a new month. There's potentially talks about an interest rate cut. Do you think the timing of these two things coming together is a reason they're floating this idea out there?
I think it's a possibility. I think the term fall obviously is broad. I wouldn't expect this to happen in September, because the White House and Republicans are going to be preeminently focused on making sure that the government stays open. Let's not forget, there's that big funding appropriations deadline at the end of this month. So I think that would probably be the number one priority here.
It's a shame so many people struggle with the most common
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, you guys. Can I get 50 people to hit the subscribe button? There's about 110 in the building. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
At the end of this month. So I think that would probably be the number one priority here. But those aforementioned rate cuts, everyone under the sun expects them to drop, at least 25 basis points this month. That certainly goes in Congress with what the president is trying to do on housing. And again, I don't think we should, ignore the fact that this is coming not at the beginning of his term, but less than a year or right up on a year ahead of the midterm election. So timing is everything to President Trump and to this administration. So I don't think it's a coincidence that it could be coming, just around the pipe.
And you mentioned that we don't know exactly what it would look like, the tactics, the strategy exactly behind it. But these economic levers, especially when we're talking about housing, talking about shelter, they feel like they take time. Would it really take a long instance for people to feel the impacts if a national housing crisis, national housing emergency was put in place?
I don't think there would necessarily be immediate relief for people looking to buy this fall. But like you said, those interest rates dropping, that would be some immediate relief. So taking all of these potential options that they have at their disposal, again, in total, you might see some pretty significant relief 6 months, 12 months down the line. I do think no matter what the White House is trying to pursue, just the logistics of actual construction plays a part here. So we have to identify new space, either demolishing old homes or quite literally freeing up land. We know the Trump administration is talking about selling off some of their federal properties and federal land, so perhaps that could be an avenue there. But it will take time. I do think, though, heading into November next year, the housing market will be much more of a buyer's market than it currently is right now.
All right, lots of factors in terms of this, what it would look like, and obviously just putting this idea out there right now, not officially set in stone. I do want to ask you about what we saw today inside of the Oval Office, and that being the appearance of President Trump, as we have not seen him since that cabinet meeting, the extended one, some 3 hours long last Thursday. And of course, there were rumors going around, circulating, speculation. Peter Doocy over Fox News even asked if President Trump saw some of the social media rumblings about his health concerns. Do you think his appearance today quelled some of those? Is there anything amiss at the White House right now, Christian?
It might not have quelled the rumors entirely, but it certainly put a damper on, let's just call it, liberal TikTok. I was scrolling myself trying to, assess how the president's words were resonating with some of these voters on the other side of the aisle, on the Democratic side of the aisle. And, I think everyone ultimately believed that this wasn't true, but especially over a long holiday weekend, I think a lot of folks, opponents of President Trump, were disappointed that, the fun has run its course, so to speak. And I would point out one thing on the president's response. He said he hadn't heard that he had passed away. He had, heard people talking about is he healthy or not, but not to that extent. The rumors that Doocy brought up. That being said, this announcement very easily could have been made via a press release or an email, to speak the parlance of the internet. And I do think one of the reasons he appeared out in public was to directly address these rumors. So again, timing is everything to President Trump. It's not a surprise. We saw him out, immediately after the holiday weekend, given how these rumors were circulating on social media.
And he also pointed back to President Biden potentially not in the public light too much. And that obviously it wasn't necessarily weeks, as he alluded to, in time, but it was some distance. So an interesting contrast. I do want to ask you about another interesting facet of this, and this again coming in on social media is Peter Doocy showing Trump video of someone dropping trash out of the window at the White House. President Trump saying it might be AI, but a White House official saying that this actually happened, a potential contractor. What's going on at the White House in terms of this? How unusual is this happening there? Those windows, he said, potentially are sealed.
They are sealed, and I'm not going to lie, this one's a head scratcher, Andy, because we've known about these massive renovations at the White House, both to the Rose Garden and what the president is trying to do to build his new ballroom off of the East Wing. So again, it's not surprising that they are getting rid of things, and whether or not that one specific contractor should have been shoveling items out of the window, I'm going to leave that up to the White House staff to decide. But I do think this goes to show just how busy any president is. I mean, Donald Trump might be the most online president we've ever had. I mean, certainly the internet has not been around as long as America, but he's always on Truth Social. He's always on X, Twitter, and I'd be surprised that he hadn't necessarily seen this one. I do think, just given the craziness of this summer, all of the swirling headlines, life at the White House has been very different. I mean, just last Friday, President Trump, according to White House officials, was blasting music from the balcony of the White House, from the Rose Garden. I heard the Beatles and Journey during a couple of my exits in and out of the briefing room. Maybe that was trying to get ahead of the rumors, and here we are having this press conference again today, which very easily could have been an email to try and tamp down on those conspiracies.
Yeah, and as the Journey song goes, don't stop believing. Potentially anything is possible when you're talking about this White House. And of course, this also saying a spokesperson for the White House confirmed that the clip was authentic and explained it showed it was a contractor doing regular maintenance. I want to ask you my last question, Christian, before I let you go. We talk about the days that we did not see Trump. Does he have anything on his schedule over the next several days this week? We know we talked about how busy he has been in the first 6-7 months of this presidency. What's next on his schedule? When can we potentially see President Trump next?
Well, there's nothing currently on the schedule for Wednesday. There is a swearing-in ceremony at the White House on Thursday, and Friday right now has been left open. That has been typical of these summer months. Sometimes the president sneaks out of town. Sometimes we have late-breaking news, like we have, regarding the war in Ukraine and his trip to Alaska to meet with President Putin a few weeks ago. So I think if there's one lesson to be learned here, it's always wake up ready for anything to happen when covering this White House, because in most cases, that's usually what you're going to be walking into.
Yeah, very good. And every day is a new day. Christian Dayton, thank you so much for joining us from the Washington Examiner. Great stuff. Also, great interview there with Scott Bessent. A lot learned in terms of the Treasury and that potential national housing emergency. Thanks again.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I should continue with Hot Topics trending topics, or should I... Let's go ahead and do some Hot Topics trending topics, because if I lose some of the stuff, I'll be mad. Let's get straight to Hot Topics trending topics. Okay, so as we see, he's saying there's no proof that happened.
Every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's... In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, Each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be. Where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe for the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them. Those windows are they're all.
Okay. So let's continue.
But about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really?
I didn't see that.
You know, I have heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do him for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors.
Like the video, like the video. So he's saying Biden would be gone and nobody would be concerned. So they basically like stop acting like he can't take a break. Okay, so we're about to get some more hot topics, trending topics. Ray J is trending over the Kai Cenat situation. I'm going to keep... Okay. Ray J wants to trend sometimes when Kim is trending. Kim is trying to trend over the conversation about her in the North situation. So that's Ray J with the hat. Kai Cenat's in the shower. The music is playing. So Ray J's kind of like, I wanted to come over. So if you did not know, Kai Cenat is having a marathon. Let's continue.
Find out over the weekend.
Same report. Okay, let's continue. Go listen to this. Paris Jackson is talking about what's up and coming in regards to the biopic. I have to listen to more about what she's saying. I kind of heard briefly about what's going on, but she's talking to people about the biopic. And did she have anything to do with it? Okay, I'm not going to play this clip. Ray J's with Kai Cenat, and he's like, hi, Ray J. And he was like, yeah. He's saying he's the new diddler. Kai Cenat said, get out, Ray J. He's like, I'm the new diddler, freed the diddler. And he basically said, I love Mr. West as well. Kai Cenat said, get out. Get out and never come back.
Nigga. Sweet puppy, nigga. Shout out to Kyle. I love you, nigga. Try it.
So there, he's saying, get out. This is a report that basically Jay-Z and Beyonce combined net worth is 3.3 billion combined net worth. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Let's continue. Now, Mariah Carey showed up to the marathon. This I will listen to. I will listen to what Mariah Carey has to say. If you guys did not know, Kim on there. And Kim was talking about kids not doing homework. Is Kim complaining because she has 4 kids that has to do homework? Everybody grew up doing homework. Yeah, some of it is several hours. But it's the lesson that you get in school, and then they want you to take the homework home to make sure you got the concept. Some kids need to be preoccupied as parents are working. But Kim may be complaining because she might not want to help 4 kids do homework. She might be complaining because her and the nannies have to do homework. Real talk. She might be complaining because her and the nannies have to help all 4 kids do homework. Basically, all of them are pretty much at the age of homework. And sometimes these parents are saying this homework stuff is no joke. So Mariah Carey's there for the marathon. She looks gorgeous. Many celebrities go to, ooh.
My God!
That's a pretty beautiful picture.
Cover, my new album cover.
So that's the new album cover. She looks gorgeous. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to just do hot topics, trendy topics. So Ray J crashed Kai Cenat marathon. So of course, as Kim is there, Ray J was going to be there too. Saucy Santana's talking about the whole um, Young Miami and the Diddy situation and what Young Miami experienced. Go over to Hollywood Unlocked to listen to what was said. He sat down with Carlos King. Carlos King is a little messy. Carlos King is a little messy. And he might have been treating Young Miami like a princess because he knew that he was being looked at, evaluated, and watched. Let's be very clear. Some of the people are out just, whatever. Okay, so we can't confirm or deny if Chris and Corey are breaking up. Many people are putting that out there. This might just be a PR stunt for the Kardashians. I can't confirm or deny if Chris and Corey are breaking up, but many people are talking about it. Let's continue. Many people are talking about his hands and the makeup. As you see, there's still a little makeup. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay. Some said it's from shaking hands. Many people feel like it's not from shaking hands. And if everybody else deserved a break on Labor Day, why didn't he deserve a break on Labor Day? Let's continue. Like I said, Paris Jackson speaking out in regards to the biopic that's coming out. Whenever the situation comes in, if y'all did not know, Michael Jackson's son is definitely getting married too. I did post a short regarding that. Michael Jackson's son is engaged. He's engaged to his girlfriend. There's a picture of Michael Jackson's son, the grandmother, and the young lady, his fiance. So now I'll have to listen to what's going on here. I'll play a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna say this and then I'll kind of just leave it alone. Because it seems like there's been a lot of responses. There's been a lot of responses to the thing that I posted earlier about just clarifying that I wasn't involved at all. Aside from giving feedback on the first draft, getting the feedback that we're not actually going to address your notes at all. And I was like, all right, fuck me, So I just butt it out, and I've left it alone because it's not my project. So they're gonna make whatever they're gonna make. A big reason why I haven't said anything up until this point is because I know a lot of you guys are gonna be happy with it. A big section. The film panders to a very specific section of my dad's fandom that still lives in the fantasy, and they're gonna be happy with it. Okay, I'm gonna say that.
Like the video. Let's continue. Cardi B.
Too much here because if you ask me, she didn't do enough. As the female was leaving the courthouse today, she encounters a reporter that asked her a very rude, out-of-pocket question that set Cardi B all the way off.
Hey, Cardi, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Cardi, insiders are claiming that Offset is publicly bragging about getting you pregnant for the 4th time. Do you foresee any paternity issues with Stephon Diggs?
Stop disrespecting me. Don't disrespect me.
I still love you, even though you just threw some stuff at me.
I don't care. You're disrespectful. Don't do that. Do you see women asking those type of questions to me? Do you see women asking those questions to me? Why do you feel as a man you get to ask me those type of questions? Act like you have some manners. And your mama taught you, respect women.
No, because what type of question was that? Mind you, neither Offset nor Cardi have said anything about her being pregnant. Now, even though the bump is bumping, nothing has been confirmed yet. Her being pregnant is nothing but speculation. However, I will say this. I don't think that was the smartest move to do what she did to whoever was yelling at her, because she is on trial right now for allegedly assaulting somebody, even though she claims she didn't do it. Both parties have already given their closing arguments, so I'm not sure if this incident is going to count against Cardi B or not, but as soon as we have a verdict, I will let y'all know.
So, of course, the verdict was in and Cardi B won. She does not have to pay that young lady any money. So this is going to basically be the same clip in regards to Cardi B coming out, throwing the actual, I think it was either like a highlighter or a marker or whatever. The young man did do a live regarding what happened, but there's that. Donald Trump is now over. Oh, he was running late for the press conference yesterday. Let's continue. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. Cardi B, her cover, Billboard. Okay. Some of these celebrities' music I don't listen to. I feel like they've swept in a different way. And some of the celebrities have an agenda. I'll just be general. You may like some of the people, you may not. And then some people are saying, not so funny now. Be careful what you say about people, because remember, he likes doing that face. So many people are saying, but he seemed to be quick wit. He seemed to be standing up. He seemed fine. So there's that. This is still floating around. What happened? There's a picture of him walking to the cell. And then people are saying, allegedly, they talked about there was a minute taken away, but then they found the minute. So there's a lot going on here. That the missing minutes was found. Megan looks so much like her mom. Megan looks so much like her mom. Aw, so gorgeous. Okay, once again, Ray J's trending in regards to the Kai Cenat live stream. And Kai Cenat saying, get out, get out, get out. The most expensive homes owned by Black celebrities. It will be, of course, Oprah. I would slide and show them, but I don't know if I'm going to have like an address type thing, and I'm not trying to get flagged for that. Okay. I briefly saw, this is Ray J. Ray J's a trip. He's on there saying something about, yeah, he did that on purpose to drive past there. Okay, so many people are wondering what's going on with The Rock. It looks like he's lost a lot of weight, which is okay. Many celebrities are, but it looks like he lost a lot of muscle mass. So is The Rock okay? What's going on? Was it that he lost weight for the film? What's really going on? Many people are wishing him well. Okay, the Combs twins doing a nice walk. Go ahead, girls. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Combs twins doing a nice walk. Yes, yes. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to subscribe. She's ironing her pants. Don't know why. Okay, this was kind of funny. Cat Williams and his different looks, y'all. Let's look at some of his different looks. Cat Williams' different looks. When he wore this hairstyle, everybody was like, Cat, stop it. Please stop. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. If there's 100 people in the building, please hit the subscribe button, all 100 people. Remember, he wore his hair like that. Remember, he wore his hair like that. Cat is so funny. He wore his hair like that. And RIP to one of his friends that passed away recently. They did mention that Cat Williams was not home when that situation happened. There hasn't been a lot of detail in regards to the person that passed, but they did mention that Cat was not home. So RIP to one of the gentlemen that toured with Cat. He's worn his hair like that. Are you guys a Cat Williams fan? Let me know in the comments. So this skit, I don't know when this skit happened, but the Shade Room is posting about it. So there's that. Of course, that's Drake. Okay, so was there something else? Okay, many people called Kim out because, of course, if that's glass, anybody could have got hurt with that. Kim Kardashian throws the table at Kai Cenat. Kim wanted to trend. Kim wanted to trend to take away the narrative about everybody talking about North. This is what the Kardashians do. When they start getting dragged, they have to be in the media about something else. When the Kardashians are getting dragged, they have to be in the media about trending with something else. A lot of celebrities will help you change the narrative. This is her changing the narrative. She went on Kai Cenat talking about kids doing homework. I do get that. Kids are in school for hours and hours and hours. There should be a limit to homework that they do get because there are children that are in sports. So if they're in sports and they have to travel to a school, how are they supposed to get that homework done? There are schools that give you, sometimes, believe it or not, there are schools that give you a period of homework time if you need help and assistance. So that way you can pass that class. I have heard of that. Yep. There's schools that are out there that'll give you a period in regards to whether it's first period or last period if you need help or assistance with your homework. Because you got to understand what they're teaching in the class. Kim needs to make that very clear. What they're teaching in the class, you're to go home, do the homework of what you learned in class. So Kim may be fussing that she doesn't want to help her children with homework because she has 4 kids. So could you imagine helping 4 children with homework? Sometimes it's tough with one parent helping one child with homework. So Kanye's doing his thing. Kim is the parent, and she decided to have 4 children. So Kim has to do homework for 4 kids. So that might be why she's complaining. We do get that some kids get frustrated about the amount of homework they get. Some schools are not that bad. Some schools are really bad. Okay, this is Cardi B in her outfit. She looks great. She looks great. And then this is The Rock. People are saying he lost a lot of weight. And his neck, his shoulders, many people say, y'all see it. I don't know if he, I don't know. He might have got his suit tailored, y'all. He might have got some of his suits tailored. Okay, Cardi B arrives to court. And then that's her. Okay, so then people are, of course, talking about the Kardashians. They're talking about how Khloe looks different than Kim. How Khloe looks different than Kim. But there's that. I have to do a separate video of the Kardashians. I do. Okay, so Mariah's being asked who's her favorite artist, and then she's meaning, is it the art of drawing or art as a professional singer? And she had said SZA. Okay, R.I.P. remembering Greg. I guess this was LeBron recently dancing it out. I can't play the music. Him having a good time. Let's see. The report says Trump revokes 600 student visas. Chris Brown fans speak out. Okay, let's move on. And then he addresses the rumors that people are saying he passed away, which he did not. They're saying he is wearing, this is the clothes that he's wearing, Sheen. This whole situation, how people are supporting that whole situation is crazy to me. That Sierra recently came out with music. The Keke Palmer, I think she just had a movie come out recently. Cardi B falling asleep in court, y'all. She was so tired. She was falling asleep in court. Watch her. She was trying to keep her composure, but she was tired. And she had said early mornings, getting up at 5 or 6. Look at her. Getting up at 5 or 6 to do her hair, makeup. Bless her heart. She was exhausted. But she's a mom as well. Ooh, she was tired. Look at her. She's trying to look. She's like, is anybody seeing me fall asleep? She's trying to cover her eyes. But yeah, she was tired in court. So there's that. We're just doing some hot topics, trending topics. I don't know what that's about. No man can't hold my wife like that, but this is her dance partner. That's something she's always done for years. I would play this, but he's funny to me. That's who we were listening to today. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about Logan Paul. So this is the difference between The Rock and now. He's lost a lot of weight. So well wishes to The Rock. I don't know if he spoke out about the weight loss, if he's on a weight loss journey, but maybe he just got tired of working out, 4 to 5 days a week. And then remember, he has one cheat day. Remember? He would always talk about his cheat day. I don't know what the next picture show, and I don't want to.
You see that? No. People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. I have heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Well, it's fake news. It's just it's so fake. Is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, it's Labor Day weekend, so.
He was just trying to enjoy his Labor Day weekend. Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Did you guys know that Trump cancels Harris's Secret Service protection? Why is he canceling Secret Service protection for so many people? We keep hearing this. That's kind of concerning. Why is he doing that? She's going off on people. I don't want to play it. This is Kelly Price going off on people. Yeah, something's going on. She said they're the most nasty, disrespectful people. Kelly Price going off again. Was there anything else? Now, if you guys did not know, Drake is engaged, and I guess he's getting called out because she is not wearing makeup, and he's getting called out for taking pictures of her not wearing makeup. So are you guys surprised that Drake is engaged? There's that. Okay, Cardi B, go look at it. I can't show it. Cardi B is dancing, and she almost has like an extra piece underneath. She has an extra piece underneath that. Now, I don't know what that is or why that's protected, but it's like an extra piece. But then she takes, I can't show everything. Well, go look at that on TMZ. Okay. Now they're saying that's released. I'm going to have to check into that. I'm going to have to screenshot that too. Like the video as y'all come in. Let me see if there was anything else. We already talked about that. That's going to Alabama. I think that was everything I wanted to talk about, y'all. Did you guys hit subscribe? If all 89 hit subscribe, that will be great. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is an extra piece of something, but I can't keep showing it. Go on all over TMZ. Look at it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you. Hit like, thumbs up. Thank you. And everyone, focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye. Be blessed.